Put her there, champ.
What is going on, champs? It's your dad. So today we're going to be talking about OP9 and where the leaders stand. So right here, there's going to be a bunch of cards popping up, talking about the meta itself and talking about what I think in my predictions are for the meta, at least for the NA meta, because we have already seen what these leaders do in Japan. We do play a lot differently than Japan, so we're talking about it and what my opinions are. So first up, we have our Shanks leader. We have not gotten a good Shanks leader, and the fact that we have Shanks leader and Shanks support is amazing. So we're going to talk about it. So Shanks, when your opponent attacks, it's going to be right here too, by the way. When your opponent attacks, you have the ability to activate once per turn to give your opponent's leader or character minus 1,000. Very strong. It has really good support. We're getting a Uta block or Uta searcher, so we have a way to search red hair pirates, as well as getting a 10 drop, which is really cracked. So the 10 drop is really good. I don't know how much you will play it. Maybe like three copies in a deck. I don't know. One of the big key cards is going to be the Ben Beckman, pop up right here. So Ben Beckman is the 7/7 with the 1k counter, which is incredible. And then also you trash your opponent's 6,000 or less character. Trashing, not KO. So that's another key feature. Trashing is big because it negates KO effects. And then we have our Yasop character, which is going to be another big one, a big staple for almost every red deck, honestly, outside of Shanks. Your leader gains 1,000 until the end of your opponent's turn, which is crazy. And then when attacking, you minus the character by 1,000, which is really good. So Shanks overall, I think it's going to be really good. Notably, we have our Lucky Row, so he's going to be another blocker. This blocker allows you to KO a 6,000 original power, which is great because it's on KO and it's a blocker. So it leaves your opponent choosing to whether they want to swing correctly or mix matched. So next up, we have our next leader, which is going to be Lim. So she'll pop up right here. She's from the video game Odyssey. So I love that game, and I will be definitely playing this character or this leader. All of the characters that she plays are rested, and then activate main once per turn. You may rest 3 Dawn to play out a 5 cost or lower Odyssey type character. And then you ramp a Dawn. Ramping a Dawn means that you get one from the deck rested or active. In this case, it is rested. So you rest 3, you gain a Dawn, and then you play out a 5 cost or less. It sounds really strong. All the characters do play out rested though, so they have a chance to get swung into. There is characters, notably really nice characters that allow you to either restand your Dawn or restand them on opponent's turn. A lot of the support is great, so I'm just going to flash up a bunch of cards. So like the Sabo here is going to be really good. We have the Rosinante blocker, which is going to be good. The Doflamingo blocker, which is insane. The search cards are all great. The Robin card is really good. Luffy and also Ace are really good. These are all going to be popping up on the screen. Searching is just standard, so again, I think has a really good chance into the meta and how you want to see it. I personally will be playing this leader because I do love the game Odyssey, and I also really like the character of Lim. And Audio. So Audio's going to pop up here. He's a 9 drop. He's the boss monster of the deck, and he is really, really cool. His skill is kind of really neat because you get to play out a 9 cost and play out a 5 cost. Because you're going to be able to restand 3 of your Dawn. Not saying that's going to be the right play at any certain time, but it is doable. So keep your eye out on Lim. I think she's going to be pretty nice going forward into any meta. It's just a really cool way to spam out bodies and just get to your faster Dawn points than your opponent. Next up is going to be Buggy. This one is kind of weird. I do love the Buggy leader. I don't know how much this leader is going to be doing when it's Buggy and Doflamingo, and Doflamingo is just the guy. He's just the deck that's going to be top tier. So Buggy, activate main. You may rest 5 Dawn and discard a card and play a cross guild type character from your hand. Again, it's cross guild character. It does not signify play cost, so you can play really big bodies. You do have to rest 5 Dawn though and discard a card. But there's a bunch of notable cards, so one being the Crocodile, pop up right here. The Crocodile is pretty good. It allows you to, you get to play a card to play a card, which is really nice. A lot of the deck revolves around being 5 cost or more, and then being able to play out cards for free. So it's really nice because it's definitely a Buggy thing to do. Basically cheat your way in, or you just get lucky and play out a bunch of stuff and everything comes out. So Buggy, I think, is going to be really good. Again, I don't know how it's going to be good here because we will definitely still be playing Doflamingo. That being said, check out Buggy. I think he's going to be just a fun leader overall. Next up, one of my personal favorites that I do know is coming. Well, we all know it's coming, but one of my favorites that I know I will be playing when it comes is going to be the new Monkey D. Luffy. So it's a purple black, which is great. I love the combination. We do have a king, but I like the straw hat package better, and we do have a really strong straw hat package. So for one done, all your characters gain +1, which is great because it's a little harder for any black deck to pop. And then when 2 or more Dawn returned, you get to add 1 Dawn for your Dawn deck active and 1 rested. So if you return 2, you get 2 back. 1 being up and 1 being sideways, which is rested. I think the support here is great. It has a lot of great support. We're going to talk about it. We get a 4/6 vanilla Usopp. I know it's just a vanilla, but it's actually pretty good. We have the Sanji. So the Sanji's cracked to 7, and then it gains rush when you return more than 1 Dawn. And then also it rests a 6 cost. Completely insane, really good, really strong. Not a straw hat thing, but we are getting a Searcher Lull that you could play in both Odyssey and inside the new Purple Luffy, which you most likely will doing. We're also getting a Blocker Frankie, which is really good for drawing cards. It'll pop up here. The Zoro's pretty good. It allows you to Dawn ramp a little earlier when you're returning. And then we're also getting a really crazy Gum event card, which allows you to draw 2 cards for minusing a discarding card from your hand, which is really good because if you don't have a lot of counter, you can get rid of the counter cards that you don't have to gain 2 cards, and hopefully you draw into it. So overall, this leader is going to be, I think, one of my top tiers. We also get a 9 cost Luffy. It's going to pop up right here, which is kind of insane. Is it a secret rare? It's a secret rare of the thing, so it's going to be really nice. It's a 9/10 with rush, and when you minus a Dawn, you draw a card on play. So it's really nice to be able to play out this 9 cost and also just get a bunch of like super cool effects. Next up, we have the other purple leader, which is a purple yellow leader, and it's going to be Nico Robin. This character this leader has Banish, and then when attacking, you could discard a card with trigger and then gain a Dawn, ramp a Dawn. We talked about ramping earlier. So this leader, it's going to be a lot of old tech with a lot of bit of new tech. It depends on how you really want to build the Nico Robin leader. I think it's going to be really fun. Again, I do like the purple yellow being a pudding player for 08. 8.5, I don't know if I can say about pudding, but for Robin in 9, I will try playing her just because I do like her effect and I like the Dawn ramping. We'll see what Robin does. For me, I think Robin's maybe a C tier deck, maybe B because it has Banish. I don't really know too much about the, where she lies in the Japanese meta, but maybe she'll lie high here. For Luffy, I didn't think I ever said anything about Luffy, but I think Luffy will probably be A tier. Not really an S tier deck, but A tier for sure. Lastly, of the leaders that we get in 09 is the Teach card. So Teach, pop up right here. Your on-play effects don't activate, so a lot of Teach's, key cards are all activate mains. Notably, there's like all the Blackbeard Pirates that have like cool effects will pop up here. One being the Burgess. I think that card is cracked. It's just for every Blackbeard type card in your graveyard, it gains 1,000 for every 4. But it's already a 4/5, and it's kind of insane. Teach has the ability late game to where you can activate main. If you trash a card from hand, your opponent's on-play abilities just shut off. So if you're playing against that black-yellow Luffy, it's going to be key to be able to play Teach into that. It's just kind of down that whole deck and doesn't allow them to do what they want to do, which is great. So I know Teach is doing a lot. It's still winning tournaments to this point. So it's going to be really cool to see because we haven't had a Blackbeard card yet. So that's coming. Notably, this is not really, I guess it's not really a leader, but I'm going to talk about Bello Betty. So Bello Betty is actually getting a bunch of yellow Revolutionary Army support, which you could splash into Robin if you did want to, because Robin also is getting some good yellow support. I'll pop up Robin's little support here. It'll pop up. I can't really talk about all the cards right now. Then there's the 6-drop of her, which is going to be really nice. And then the Revolutionary Army support that we could talk about for Bello Betty because she's getting a decent chunk. So we have the Sabo, which is really good. We have the Koala, which is really good. And then I think overall that deck is getting a little bit more tools to be maybe A tier. Again, it relies on triggers, which is good, but it can be better. So we're going to see that, and we're also getting a cracked card. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be the Goldie Roger. So it's a 10, 13, great stat line, crazy stat line actually, because it's the highest non-Don swinger that we have. I think it's going to be really good in Whitebeard, and purely it's going to be really good into Whitebeard because you're going to lose a bunch of life, and then on your town Don turn, you're going to have so many cards in hand. You're going to be able to play the Goldie Roger. You're going to be able to swing rush. If they activate blocker, you win the game. Definitely see that in Whitebeard going off crazy because you're going to get to 0 life quickly, especially when you're taking life. So as long as you can stack your board, if you can stall out your board, you play out your 9 drops, your 9 drop new gates all the way, and just lock in a win. Whitebeard's going to go crazy with this card. But honestly, any red deck that can splash in Goldie Roger is going to be really good. So whenever it's a rush card, so 10 with rush, 13k swing. And then whenever your opponent activates blocker, you will win the game if you or your opponent are at 0 health. So it's going to be good. And yeah, I can see a lot of decks working and cooking with this. But that's it for today, guys. We talked about all of the OP9 and what I think everything's going to stand. Of course, there's going to be some really good leaders, and there's going to be a lot of tech that comes out that other decks can splash in. So stay tuned for that. You know, Purple Luffy is a solid leader, and it could use a bunch of the new purple support that's coming out. So there's going to be some talks about that. But for now, this is just the 9 meta wrap because we're coming closer. Again, if you guys like the content, make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join our Discord. Check out our shops, and yeah, enjoy your day.